2021 didn't get off to a great start, to say the least. Covid-19 had already brought the world as we knew it to a standstill. And this year, once again, fashion weeks from London to New York were struck from calendars in the name of social distancing. But then again, fashion has always known how to adapt.
The pandemic has changed so much.
It came all of a sudden. It was brutal change. No one expected that we'd have no more fashion shows, that we wouldn't be getting dressed in the same way, that we wouldn't be able to hug each other. Fashion is meant to be alive, to be seen, to be touched. Will it ever be fun and exciting to sit on your sofa and watch a show on a screen? Digital communications, by which I mean fashion films, have always been a crucial part of what fashion is.
Fashion films soon became the way for labels to communicate with consumers. In a bid to represent the luxury of a well-cut dress or the texture of a fabric on film, Dior called on the services of Italian director Matteo Garrone.
I think he's really a good director for film, couture film. He has this approach so artistic but also artisanal. And I think it's very important because couture, we are not to forget, is artisan work.
Haute couture has always been a space for artistic innovation. This year saw a handful of designers embrace the opportunities of 3D printing.
When looking afar at our own planet, our own home, you can see the fragility but also the oneness of it being one organism and everything is interconnected.
YUIMA NAKAZATO is a champion of stitch-free couture, with an item's constituent parts melded into one another using a new technology he's called brood protein.
So our brood proteins has super contractions. When it's put in the water, it's going to be removing the shapes, and then we discover it's able to control by digital print.
NAKAZATO has always been a champion of an inclusive vision of beauty. Lauren Wasser is a model turned inclusivity activist after losing both her legs to toxic shock syndrome.
Having two legs and then having the legs that I have now, I can definitely tell you that technology has been instrumental to the woman that I've become. Being able to move the way that I do, run the way that I do, I definitely feel like we're all going to need some sort of technology to advance us to be better beings in the future, and I'm just ahead of the curve. Yeah, I'm the future.
Now to Lomé Fashion Week in Togo. On stage, Sefofa Badasu goes by the name Alexandra Magic Seth. She's 34 and is an androgynous model and entrepreneur.
In Togo, it's quite rare to find people who self-identify as androgynous. I haven't really come across anyone else. I often see tomboys, but they're not quite androgynous. That is, people who emphasize both male and female characteristics. Society says that women have to wear dresses, that you need to be feminine. But I embrace both sides. My photo shoots tend to be more masculine, because it's more fun for me. I love masculine styling, so I play with that.
Also in Togo, like everywhere else for that matter, recycling has become non-negotiable.
I'm convinced that the most important development tool at our disposal here in Africa is our rubbish, and it's still underappreciated. There's a lot of material here that can be useful to fashion, whether that be plastic, textile, paper, whatever material you can think of, to make beautiful clothes for women, for men. You can get all that from rubbish. It's great, isn't it? We all need to learn to manage that sort of rubbish better. Nothing is created, nothing is lost, and everything is transformed.
In Paris, meanwhile, the prestigious French Institute of Fashion has opened a research position dedicated to sustainability, funded by the Caring Group.
Yes, we're definitely in the movement, absolutely, and that will only increase. We believe that training the up-and-coming generation represents an enormous opportunity. That's what we're trying to do with this new cohort of designers.
By autumn, COVID restrictions had eased and fashion shows were back with some strong messages.
Let's not talk about global warming. Let's act. You see? not make worse, more hard.
For Dior's Summer 2022 offering, inspiration was to be found in the feminist movements of the 1960s, with bodies released from restrictive silhouettes accompanied by flat shoes.
I think it's obviously a great thing and something that should have been implemented in fashion for a long time, and I love Maria's incorporation of flat shoes, you know. Just makes it easier for us to get away, you know.
There's escaping, and then there's escapism. The backdrop to Thom Browne's offering for this holiday season was a winter wonderland made flesh, constructed around American skiing champion Lindsey Vonn. Almost magical enough to make you believe in Father Christmas.
From North America to the southern tip of Patagonia, join us for a look at the latest political, economic, cultural and social news from the Americas.
Inside the Americas, presented by Jeannie Godula on France 24 and France24.com.